Hello, my name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And hello, I'm Sweet Baby James, otherwise known as James.
Tonight I'm going to be talking about what are the real motives behind our helping. Doesn't matter what those motives are, and if it does matter, what to do about it. But before we go on to that, I am going to introduce you to Sweet Baby James, who's going to introduce you to our show.
So welcome to Granny Rocks Our World, otherwise known as Grow. And this is a time when Granny shares her wit, her wisdom, and her uncommon sense about the issues that concern us all. So stay tuned, and over to Granny.
Hi, everyone. Well, don't forget to use the chat. You put in a comment while we're live, and I'll be able to address it. So we've already gotten Helen here. Hello, Helen.
Hello,
and
Helen.
Aria said, hi, Beth and James. Hi, Aria.
Hello, hello.
So we love it when you comment and you say hello, and we can have an interaction. But you can always comment later, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Because I will always answer you. And Elizabeth said hello, Beth and James.
Hello.
And she's sending love. Well, Beth. Okay, so some people are already liking the topic, I can see. And Bob says hi, Beth and James. Carol says hi. Hello, Bob and Carol. Thank you so much. Okay. You're going to say hello to Beth and James. Well done. Okay, so here's the topic. You know, many of us feel like we're supposed to help, or we want to help, or we feel a real drive to help other people, children, animals, whatever. So, I mean, that's cool. You know, the world needs help. We all need help. I need help, as a matter of fact. But the first thing I want to ask is there a motive behind the helping other than I just want to help? So we're going to start with this. And then I'm going to address, well, if you're helping, does it matter? You know, even if there is a motive. And if so, what to do about it. So starting with, what kind of motives could we possibly have for helping? Well, one of them could be to shine. When I'm helping, I'm shining like, oh, you know, children are very much like that. Oh, I helped Annie with her project today. Look at me, whoopee-doo. Now, I mean, a child is a child, right? That's a child mentality, but I still have it. I don't know about you, but I'm still a child. Amy says, hello, you too. Love from Amy. Great topic, too. I'm so glad that you think so. So we love to shine, and we learned way back when that if we help Mama's little helper or baby sister's little helper or help the homeless or whatever it is, raise money through our lemonade stand, that we're going to shine and we're going to look great. Now, I mean, again, I'm not saying that these things don't need doing, but if the motive is that we're trying to shine, then we're really being motivated more by the need to shine than we are by something inside us that says that we want to help. Now, do we want to look noble? Now, that's similar to shining, but it's different. I mean, shining is, look at me. And looking noble is, look at me.
Noblesse oblige.
Yes, look at me.
Help the less fortunate than myself.
Exactly. I may even do it anonymously, because I look even more noble if I do it anonymously. Maybe not, you know, nobody else knows it, but I know how noble I have been. So
I'd like to add something to that.
Yes.
There's the religious conditioning as well. I mean, raised in whatever religion you are, there's usually the
Yes.
statement that you are a moral person if you think of others more than yourself. Better to give than to receive.
Absolutely. And that becomes...
And you feel guilty if you don't.
Well, you already jumped ahead. I'm going to talk about that, but you're absolutely right. Because the next thing is to compensate for something like guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, or to avoid guilt. Oh, I've been a bad girl, so now I'm going to go help people, and then my conscience is clear because now I'm a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Or because I was told that it's better to give than to receive. And Tracy says hi. Hello,
Hi,
Tracy. Debbie says hi, Beth and James. My grandson William and I are watching you.
Hi, Debbie and William.
Hello, William and Debbie. And Larby says hi, everyone. How are you all? Well,
Thank
we
you,
are
Larby.
very happy to be here, Larby. So, yes. So, absolutely, we're trying to, compensate for some guilt that we're already feeling, or we're trying to compensate for the guilt we would feel if we didn't give, because that may be the attitude, not just religion, but that's a great example, but also in the family. Well, mother always took bags of food to the homeless. And Halim says, hello, James and Beth. Hello to you.
Halim.
So now, supposing another motivation for helping is to hide jealousy. Woo! For example, let's say I'm jealous, envious in this case, really, but we use that term interchangeably because you're getting married and nobody loves me. So what am I going to do? I am going to help you with that wedding. I am not jealous. I am going to really just the opposite, and I'm going to help the bride or whatever it is that you're doing. Yes, I'm going to help you. And that's a way that you're trying to hide how you actually feel. Now you may be trying to impress somebody. Now, that's similar to the guilt thing in that you want to impress your parents, but maybe your parents didn't even teach you to be giving. But maybe you think that if you are helping others, that your parents will be impressed. In fact, maybe they won't notice that you're snorting cocaine in the afternoons. I don't know what you're thinking. Or they'll have something to brag about so they can talk about you. Well, my daughter, she volunteers at the homeless shelter every week. As a matter of fact, Mom doesn't even know that I stopped doing that 10 months ago, but she still gets to brag about it, right? Sometimes we're trying to impress our friends. It's like, oh, what wonderful people we are. And we're getting some wonderful, little graphic responses from Larby. Thank you. They're very cute. Sometimes we're trying to impress society as a whole. I belong to the Women's Rotary Club, and we're doing such wonderful things for the orphans in Madagascar, wherever that is. I happen to know where Madagascar is just because many of our viewers are from Madagascar, as it happened. So then this is really cool. We want to help in order to impress the voters. Now, it's not only people who are running for the big offices, like we know the political offices, but supposing I'm running for the school president or the head of the art club, and people are going to vote for me because they see me as, this kind and giving person, right? I'm helping. Could you possibly be trying to prove that you're better than somebody else who doesn't help? Ooh. My brother is such a scoundrel. He never helps anybody, but I, on the other hand, I am very giving. No. Do you ever help because you're trying to please somebody? Maybe you want to please the person you're helping. You're not doing it because you think it's the right thing, but maybe they think it's the right thing you help them. So they want,
maybe they can return the favor.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe it's money, and mom, dad, brother, cousin, uncle, great grandfather, get out of the grave and help me with some money. And, so great grandfather comes out of the grave and says, okay, this is for my favorite great grandchild. Okay. So we may be trying to please the person that we're helping. Not a good motive, believe it or not. Okay. How about this one? Then I'm going to go on to the other topics. Create customers for your goods and wealth for yourself. Ooh, the U.S., we're going to be giving foreign aid, but you'd better buy our goods or you're in trouble. Or we're going to give our workers a raise, because they absolutely can't afford to buy any of the products that they're creating. So they're just going to sit there. So smart capitalists figured that out a long time ago, that if you don't give people money, they can't buy the products, and then they're going to go out of business. And what happens to their, now they get all the profit and you get, the schmitchick or whatever it is. But so now if you're helping, does it matter why? I mean, you know what I mean? Okay, let's say I'm drowning. I'm in the ocean. I'm going under. And there's somebody there, a lifeguard, somebody. And he valiantly jumps in right in front of this lovely young woman who's been admiring him on the beach. And now he gets to come out and rescue me. And he looks like a hero in her eyes. And then he gets a date and anything that goes along with that. All right. So do I care? Oh, Larby says I am a very cool actor.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Larby. Because
she's very animated.
I'm so not acting. This is how I really feel. But thank you. I understand what you're saying, and I love that.
Well, you're enacting the roles of the people you're talking about.
Oh, Karen says, oh, this is a good one. Has been on my mind. Much love to you, too. Well, I always try to ask the universe what my viewers want me to talk about. So maybe you did it, Karen. Thank you for the topic. It just came to me like 2 seconds before the show. It's like, what am I going to talk about today? Well,
so get back
so
to this guy who saves the drowning woman.
So, I really couldn't care less what your motive is in that case. Yeah. Just save me. If I'm really hungry, I don't care why you've brought the food to the homeless shelter. I'm hungry. However, feed me. So in emergency situations, who gives a darn? But in the long run, your motive has an impact. And I want to look at that for a moment. First of all, the recipient feels it. It doesn't feel clean. It doesn't feel like just like giving. Oh, maybe, in fact, I forgot one thing, but this relates to this. Maybe I'm trying to create dependency. Or feed a dependency.
Out of your own need to be needed.
Out of my own need to be needed. So the recipient feels that pull to become dependent, or they may feel your resentment, or they may feel your sense of superiority, and it's demeaning, demoralizing, shaming, embarrassing. Oh, so let's say the guy is the lifeguard has saved you, and then he takes you on his, in his arms to the beach. And then he drops you like a hot potato as he shows off to the woman, right? And then, you feel used and abused. Exactly. So it does have bad consequences. If you're giving the kind of help that helps you, but that doesn't help the recipient, in the long run, that is not going to help the recipient. For example, let's say the recipient really just needs to learn how to fish. This is that old analogy. And you just keep bringing fish, but you never give the person a fishing pole. Or you never teach that person. You are trying to create dependency, and that person will be demeaned by that, never learn, and then they feel bad about themselves because they don't have the joy of being able to take care of themselves if they can. And I mean, that's assuming that they're capable of fishing. Well, some of us aren't, but you know what I'm saying, don't you? So if we're trying to give the help that helps ourselves instead of the recipient, then we're cheating that person of an opportunity to be really helped. To be helped on the inside is also so important. If you just keep giving money, but you don't give the person not only the tools that I'm talking about also emotional tools, spiritual tools to help them get on their feet. And then you look at them and say, what's wrong with them? They're just dependent, they're cheats, they'll never get on their feet. They're lowlives, Some people would say that, I'm not going to say what kind of people say that. So that can trigger guilt, shame, embarrassment, or dependency, as I said.
And resentment.
And supposing the reason you've been doing it is because you've been showing off to your girlfriends, and then those girlfriends go away, well, then suddenly you find that you don't want to do it anymore, right? It's like, so the person you've been helping is just dropped. That happens all the time. When it's the wrong reason, the person can just be dropped, and they may not be prepared to be dropped, or you may not take any responsibility to help them find other help, because that was never your intention, because all you were doing was showing off to start with. You may be on the other side of this equation. I'm talking about you as the one who's the doer of this, but you could be the other one. Now, you may also secretly feel resentful if you've been doing it for the wrong reason, and the person will feel that resentment. I don't care how big a smile you put on your face, how great an actor you think you are, Larvae, right? If you resent that person, they will feel it. If you're helping with the wedding, and you have not admitted to the bride that you're jealous and envious and that you're struggling with this, they will feel something even at their own wedding, and they won't even know what it is, because we are so intuitive. We are all connected, guys, see, whether we like it or not. So I've just given you some of the many reasons that this could be really damaging instead of helpful. So what can we do about it? Well, the first thing is we have to be honest. Are we capable of that? Oh my God, I've talked about that many times. Why are we not willing to be honest with ourselves? Well, we may have to admit something embarrassing, or we may have to change something, or all of those things. But we have to be honest, and we have to check our motives. Really, why am I doing it? Why am I pretending I'm doing it? Let's say you really think you know for sure why you're doing something. Well, give it a second look. You can say, well, I think I'm doing it because I really want to help my audience feel better. Like, why am I trying to help you? Ooh, good question. So,
well, you're trying to save the world.
Yeah, well, but I have to give that one up. So anyway, be willing to go back and look again, and look deeper, and look deeper, and look deeper, and look deeper, until you really know that you have identified, and it'll go blunk inside you. That's when you know that you've identified your motive. And then you have to ask yourself, whatever you've been doing, do you really want to do it? Do you really want to do it? Even if nobody knows that you're doing it, even if the person you're helping doesn't know it, without this noble, because you're trying to look noble, right? There's no motive. It's just something inside you says, I need to do this. I think that's why I do it. But see, I need to flatter myself into thinking that's why I do it. I hope so. So how do you do all this? Larvae says, this diligence from you so that makes us happy and smiling, all of us. And from this platform, I tell you that you are successful in it 100%. Oh, thank you. I hope everybody understood his English. I think he spoke very well. And because we have a lot of viewers, even who watch us live from overseas. And I am trying to make people happy. And I just want to help because it's in my nature to do it. And so I appreciate that, Larvae. So if you are enjoying your life, really enjoying your life, you are more likely to be able to overcome all of the self-serving motivations for helping, because you're already filled with what you need. You don't have to get it from helping people, from making people dependent on you, from being noticed or looking noble or shining or proving anything. You just feel already good inside, right? And then that good just bubbles over. That's why joy is so. In our last show, we actually shared joy, the energy of joy. I hope you all watched it, because I shared joy with you, and you shared joy with others, and there was no motive, right? So if you want to overcome having all kinds of self-serving motives that muddy up the whole thing and allow you to be clear about what someone might need that you might be able to help them with, which is also important, feed yourself. Have enough inside, enough love and enough joy so that you can give sincerely. and then help where and how you really feel the call. And Larvi sent all kinds of hearts and smiles. And I know we're getting a lot of loves and likes on the show, so this must be, hitting some kind of nerve of what we need. So remember, guys, when we are in a negative place or feel bad about ourselves, yes, sometimes we need to give in order to feel better. But we can't give in order to feel better. We do feel better when we give. But ultimately, in the long run for ourselves, we need to be looking at why we aren't feeling better about ourselves. Are we getting the love that we need? Are we feeding ourselves so that we can feed others? And Bob says, thanks, great topic. Oh, I'm so glad that you feel that way. So I'm not saying that it isn't true that when you give to others that you feel better. But what I'm saying is that can't be the ultimate. We need to find out what's stopping us. Maybe it's because we're self-centered, a-holes, and we're never going to be happy that way. But I can talk about that on another show. So look within, and let's keep on giving and helping the right way, not the way that's going to get the reaction that we want, the way that is really going to be for the highest good of all, including us.
Yes.
So come back Monday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time for Grow, and tune in on Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time, to hear Dreams of Peace, where I play the piano live to bring joy. I have no motive. I just love doing it. And we also have a wonderful discussion group every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time about the Living with Reality book, which is a free download at my website, bethgreen.org. And in this very post, I'm going to give you contact material. It's a free discussion group. I'm not there, but you'll be reading my book, and it's long, so it could take you your whole lifetime. And you'll be with wonderful people who will be talking to each other and you about how we can evolve in consciousness and live with reality. And Elizabeth said, wonderful topic. Thank you, Elizabeth. And Larvi said, we hope that we are always on time.
Yes, indeed.
I do appreciate
that. So don't forget, our next show is this coming Wednesday, 2 days from now. So stay tuned. Come again.
6:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now. Thanks for coming.